Thank you guys for hopping on our call tonight. I do have a couple updates before I get into our speakers. Actually, a lot of updates. So just as a reminder, challenge packs are still on sale. Almost all of them are $140. Starting November 1st, that is no longer the case. 21-day fix is always the top seller when it's $140. For some reason, when it goes up to $160, people are a little bit more hesitant. So use that to your advantage when you're recommending a program. If you recommend more than one, always recommend one that's on sale. And the fact that we have like 15 that are on sale this month, use it to your advantage. Don't forget about those. Lock in Success Club before, basically as soon as possible. I'm going to go live in my Sam Superstars, so my personally sponsored coach page tomorrow. I might share the video in Team Supercharged about Core to Force and launch information and how you guys can go about that. But I really want people to focus on helping people now and get people in a group now before even focusing on Core to Force, because you can never rely on someone to actually sign up on the day that they say they will. And since it's launched on the 31st, that means that you are risking a lot if you wait until the very last day of the month in order to hit Success Club. So I will be giving you guys more info on Core to Force. Hopefully you guys are aware of what it is. There's a sneak peek on Monday, so definitely do that. I recommend recording a video of yourself and then using that snippets of that video as promotional content. So break it up into lots of different videos, maybe even do photos, and use that to promote Core to Force even the entire week before you get it until you actually have it and you can start doing it that way. Team Spirit Challenge. So we are all signing up, most of us, if not all of us, are signing up with the Lux Republic group. That my coach, my upline is Raina Odell, and she leads the Lux Republic, and that means you guys are all a part of the Lux Republic. So we are all joining her group, because the bigger the group and the more participation and the more challenge packs that we sell and the more activity in the My Challenge Tracker app, the better the odds that we're going to win. So it'll be super fun to coordinate with another team, to meet other coaches and things like that. Lastly, at 9 p.m. tonight, so in 55 minutes, we have our sneak peek into coaching group or event. So two things. Still invite people. I actually invite people all the way up through next week. So next Friday, I still invite people. I tweak my scripting a little bit. So tonight you can say I have an event in an hour where we're going to share more information. Would you like to join? Next week that changes to my team just hosted an online event where we shared more about what we do as coaches. Would you like to see those recordings? So still invite them, then just tag them in the videos or just add them to the event page. Second thing about that is remember to follow up, especially if you have people in there now or even if they join next week. Write down their names so you remember that they are in the event so that you know that you have to reach out to them. And my typical follow-up is, hey, how did you like our sneak peek into coaching event last night? Do you have any questions that didn't get answered? So short and sweet, ends with a question to prompt them for a response. And that's it. So now I get to introduce our guests. You guys know them very well, probably. We have two, actually. So we have Carley and Ashleigh. Carley is one of my coaches, and she started shortly after I did, and she has just ran with the business. And I'll let her share a little bit more of her story. But she is a one-star diamond coach, and I think it was almost a year ago that she quit her full-time job to do Beachbody full-time, which is insanely awesome. And Ashleigh Robustiano, she is a diamond coach. She is also a full-time coach and mom boss, as she calls it. And she's a success starter and a Success Club legend. So these girls are more qualified than anyone to give you tips on how to run a successful business, and they're best friends, and they work together to build their team, which is an awesome team called Gold Supremacy. So you guys can take it away and either share your stories or jump right in or whatever you want. Just unmute yourselves.
Okay, so I'll start. I'm Carley, if anyone doesn't know me yet. Basically, I want to say almost 3 years ago now, almost 3, maybe 2.5 years ago. I stumbled on Sam's event page from her Clean Eating Challenge group. And I had just graduated from Elmira. I cheered 4 years in college, and I think I saw it in the winter time. So it was like 6 months after I graduated, and I was like, I'm feeling super fluffy and so out of shape, and I don't have anything else to keep me in shape, and I'm not eating good. So I joined one of her challenge groups with P90X3 and Shakeology, and I convinced Ashleigh to do it with me. And we did her group. I think it was 30 days. And Sam, a few times was like, hey, you should coach. Hey, you should coach. I was like, nah, no thanks. That's not for me. And then after the challenge group, I was like, do you have an extended group? Because I had so much fun. I'm sad it's over. And so from there, we were in her, lifetime accountability, but it wasn't enough. Like, it wasn't as exciting for me. So then she was like, do you want to do discount coaching? I'm like, sure, I'll save money. I love Shakeology. I've always loved Beachbody programs. And then I think 3 months later, it was about 3 months later, she finally convinced me, and she was just like, just try it and see what happens. I think you'd be awesome at it. And I was like, I kind of want to do it. So we went into a Coach Basics group, and it took me a couple months to actually be announced. I did not want to be announced publicly. I did not want to post publicly. And it took me a while to actually start running my own groups, which I regret. So if you are a coach now and you're kind of on the fence, I highly suggest just going all in, because you're probably going to anyway. So don't waste time. But basically, yeah, so 2 years later, I became full-time. I left my full-time job, and in October, I think it was the first week of October, it was my official 1 year of leaving my full-time job. So there's my story.
Okay. Hi, guys. My name's Ashleigh, for those of you who don't know me. So me and Car kind of started coaching a little bit differently, but same thing, like she said. So when I started in a challenge group, I was 5 months postpartum with my first son, and I was just really motivated to lose weight. I had tried to lose like 30 pounds before I got pregnant, and then I gained baby weight. So me and Car kind of just did everything together. She was like, I'm home from school. Let's, join a gym, and let's try and do this together. So we joined a gym, and we tried to go to Zumba, and I think we burned more calories laughing than we actually did in the class. I forced her into yoga one time, and we couldn't contain our laughter. It was so embarrassing. But the downfall of that was we would maybe go to a class like 2 times a week, but we would always go to Starbucks or Applebee's right across the street. So we were just undoing everything. So when Sam had approached Car, or she saw it on her news feed or whatever, she had texted me and was like, you need to do this group. We need to try it. I'm going to do P90X3. And I was like, no, I can't afford that. It's just not my budget right now. And she's like, I'll literally pay for you. You can pay me back like little by little. And I was like, no, you can't pay for me. It was in January. So I don't know. I came up with the money somehow. Probably didn't buy groceries that week, but I bought my challenge pack and I did T25. Now, I've never stuck to anything in my whole life, but we were both really pumped up for this challenge group. I still remember the name. It was just like clean eating challenge group, like 30-day clean eating. But we were so excited. We got our grocery list and our meal plans that Sam posted, and we both went shopping, and we got every single thing. We followed every single meal for those 30 days, and we both finished our full programs, even past a group. And that was the first time I had ever actually completed a program. So, I was feeling really good. And so I had finished that. And then I'm the type of person that if I don't have a plan, or if I don't have like a next step, then I'm just going to go backwards. So we switched programs. And I was then going to do P90X3. And I was like, I need a little bit more. So at that time, I didn't even really know that Car signed up for a discount coach. And I probably never wondered about it because I stopped drinking Shakeology. I didn't see the value in it. I didn't even drink it the full 30 days. I tried to get a GNC shake. I'm that person who did that. But it obviously was not the same. So I had approached Car when she told me she signed up to coach. And I was like, you know what? I need that extra accountability. I need that next step for me. If I have to publicly post about like my journey and my workouts and all that, then I'm going to actually do it and I'm going to stick to it. So I signed up on Car's team and I was all in. I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to get excited about it and I'm just going to run with it. So I think the day I signed up, I created my fitness business page on Facebook. It was called like Ashleigh versus Abs because Raina's Raina versus Food. And I was like, oh, I need to be something like her or something. It was so queer, really. But it's changed now. So I created my fitness page. I created my very first challenge group. I had no idea what I was doing. I invited every single person on my friends list. First day I signed up as a coach and I just kind of was winging it. Sam was training us at the time and she's like, I have the scripts, I have the meal plans, I have everything. You don't even have to think, just show up. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. So, and kind of like Car, even though she was much more hesitant to post on Facebook than I was, I had not been using my Facebook. I used my Facebook to stalk people's lives, basically. And we've all done that. And that's the only reason why I used Facebook prior to Beachbody. So I was kind of nervous that now here I am, this girl who never posted is now posting and I'm now posting about something. But I just trusted the process. So, and I'm just a few months behind Car, but I've been coaching for over 2 years now. And I left my full-time salon job a year ago in September. We both kind of made this goal that we were like, you know what, we're going to do it. And even if we're not, at the spot where we want to be necessarily, we're going to do it anyways. And we're going to just work 10 times harder to get there. And so that's kind of what we did. So, so that was always like a dream of ours. And I think when we actually did it and like put in our 2 weeks, I remember constant phone calls back and forth to each other. Like, okay, I'm going to tell my boss today. And she's like, okay, I'm going to tell my boss today, which is her dad or me, your uncle or something. But it was scary to do that. But we did it. So now we both are coaching full time. So that's kind of just a little backstory on the two of us. But I wanted to start off by talking to you guys about kind of how we decided to, or didn't decide, I guess, to run our team together. So once we started working the business, we knew that hitting Success Club and advancing rank was two very important things that were going to move our business forward. So we both hit Emerald. We both hit Success Club consistently. And we got to a point where we had a few coaches on our team and we were like, you start to think about, to be honest, I first thought that like a team name was like something you like put in a request for, like you had like, I didn't realize you just like came up with it and that's what it was. So once we figured out that's not how it works, we kind of started to think about it, or at least I did. And we didn't even question it. I don't think. It was just like, we've done everything together. We're going to do this together too. It was just like kind of an unspoken thing. We just did it and we were like, we're going to run a team together. Like, why not? We've done everything together since we started our fitness journey. So let's just continue. So, and obviously it's really fun with your best friend, but even just a close friend or like a sibling. I know, if any of you are in the Entrepreneur Academy 2.0, I can't think of her name, but it's one of the girls that did a live video. She runs a team with her mom, and they're like this mom-daughter duo. And so it doesn't need to necessarily be like your best friend. It can be whoever. But so obviously that was kind of just a no-brainer for us. We never really even discussed it. We were like, yeah, let's do it. So, so we were building our team, and I think we both had this thought that, okay, once we become diamonds, we're going to launch our team and we're going to make a team page and we're going to release our name and our message and everything. And we were like, once we hit diamond, that's when we'll do it. So a couple months had gone by. It had taken both of us a little bit of time to hit diamond. And we were like, you know what? We have a name. We had come up with a name. And we came up with a message. You know, when you get so excited, like we were throwing around names and she's like, well, what do you think about the gold supremacy? I think Nick even, did he help with that a little bit? I think he did. And I was like, oh my God, yes, that's it, right? So we came up with the name, and then that night I'm like on PicMonkey trying to come up with like a basic image, just something we can use, all black and gold. You know, we just kind of, it was exciting and we were just running with it. And we were like, when are we going to tell the people on our team? When are we going to announce this? When are we going to talk about it? So it was just something fun to add to your business. It was no pressure. There's no rule. The point of this is there's no rule when you can start your team. Because we thought, oh, when we hit diamond, that's when we'll launch our team. That's when we'll do everything. It doesn't matter. I think Brittany Leggett created her team name and launched her team page when she was 5-star diamond. There's people, when you have one person on your team, you want to create you have a name that like speaks to you and all that, then create it. So we kind of just got going with that. And then we were excited to add our coaches in there. We were excited, even though most of the time we were copying and pasting what Sam would post in our group into our team page. You know, and now we do some more of our own things too, but it was exciting and it was fun. And it was a place that we now, if we wanted to run separate little giveaways or do fun little contests, like we could do that with just our personally sponsored coaches and we could do it together. But so, yeah, so that's kind of how we formed. I guess it's not really like a fancy story. It just kind of happened. It was very natural to us. And so Car is going to tell you guys a little bit how we run our team with 2 people. And believe it or not, we actually only get together, sometimes more, but once a week really, because we actually live about 45 minutes away from each other. So most of the time it's just through communicating and everything. So I'll let her talk about how we run everything.
Okay. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like I'm just cracking up the entire time that she's talking because like she said, we're best friends. So it's just like we were together all day today. And when she talks about it, like taking a step back and like kind of saying like putting us back into those shoes of what do we do? When do we announce it? Like, how should we do it? It just like, I just love her so much that it's just like so funny to me, like to be like, we were like babies, I feel like in this business, and we were just like taking it so seriously. And it's not this huge thing, but it's so exciting when you do it. And you end up talking yourself out of like, oh, well, wait, we'll do this, we'll do that. But I think just going off what she was saying is, I think the most important part is of making your own team, whether you have a name or not, is just looking at yourself as a leader. And I felt like when we finally branched off in our own, that we had to kind of put ourselves in the spotlight and say, we can't hide behind Sam anymore. We actually have to show up, run our own team calls, do these things for our people, and then it'll make us look at ourselves more of a leader and not so much just another team who has some coaches and just kind of runs with it. So basically, some of the things that we do, and I think is so powerful to have 2 people, is we split up almost everything. There's some things that we divvy up just off the whim, and then there's some things that we divvy up that's like weekly. So for example, every week, Ashley or we alternate we have this thing in our team page called the Supremacy Slayer board, and we do like an update every Monday morning or whatever, Monday at some point, our Success Club points and where people are at, and one of us posts it every other week. Same thing for our leaderboard that we post every month. Same thing for our Success Club giveaway video every month. And we just alternate. Hey, it's your turn this month. Hey, it's your turn this month. So it's really nice to have kind of someone to fall back onto. and knowing that, okay, I'm off this week for this, but I still have to do this. We also have, like she said, we have one team page. We put both of our coaches in that team page, but they're all in the Gold Supremacy. They're all part of our one big team. And I think it just helps with having a different amount of people, different types of people. And since her and I are very similar and we've grown up together, even though I'm attracting people like me and she's attracting people like her, since we're so similar, we all get along really well. And I think that it's really helped with like the chemistry and the culture of our team. We're all very tight knit and close. And I think having someone that you're compatible with that way also makes a huge difference. For our team calls, we run them together every single Monday. And basically, if Ashleigh can't do it, I still do it. Or if I can't do it, Ashleigh still does it. So that's really nice. So we don't have to worry about canceling on anybody or I mean, there's some times when we're both busy and that comes with anything else. But basically, when we run our team calls, we both talk. We both cover topics. We both give our 2 cents. People from my team and her team, they're all on the same, call together or whatever. So it's just nice having the information to split up. Like if we discuss something about discount coaches, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to cover A, B, and C, you cover D, E, and F, and we'll have a bunch of topics, but they don't have to listen to me for 50 minutes. And then the other thing that we do is we run, I would say about 90% of our challenge groups together. And I think when we don't, we always regret it. And I don't know why. We just like sometimes are like, no, I'm just going to do my own this month. And it's like, well, it's stupid because every single time we do, I'm like, I don't know why we decided to like separate because the participation sucks or I don't have anyone in it or blah, blah, blah. So even if you don't have someone that you can think of in the back of your mind, like maybe there's someone right now in your head that you're like, I would love to run my team with so-and-so or whatever. Even if you don't have someone like that right now, pairing up in a challenge group and running it together is one of the easiest and best things because you have twice as many people. You get to share the posts and say I'm, doing something. I'm having dinner with my family one night and one of my challengers posts something, Ashleigh can get to it or vice versa. I can get to it. Kind of like the health bet. We had, I think it was her and I and then maybe like 6 other coaches. And it was just nice that there was always somebody to show up and comment on whatever posts or whatever was being updated in the group. So we always host our groups together. I think that's basically, I had 4 different things that we do that we split up. And it's also really nice because we brainstorm everything together. And it's easier to have someone who when you're having a really rough day and you're like, I just am not feeling it today. I'm not motivated. I don't even know if this is businesses for me. Like we have those conversations sometimes. And I know that it's normal because I know a lot of higher up coaches and whoever have days that they're like, is this something that I can actually do? And it's nice that she's not just a person that's another teammate of mine. Like she's someone I'm sharing the team with. So her ties to me staying a coach is a little bit more than me just quitting and not affecting her at all. So it's really nice to have somebody to be there for you when you're just not feeling it. And it affects her almost just as much as it affects me and vice versa when we're like, today's just not my day. But I think that's pretty much everything as far as what we do. I don't know, Ash, if you have anything to add to that.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory besides like what she was saying, we split up the work. So it's nice to have multiple people so that you don't feel overwhelmed. Because when you first put yourself in that leadership position, and I know there's coaches on my team that took a long time to even want to advance to rank because they're like, I don't see myself as a leader. I don't want to be a leader. Like it freaks me out to have to lead people. To have someone to share the workload with. So you don't feel like now all of a sudden because you have a page that you put your coaches in rather than them being a part of, you know, Sam's page or your upline's page, that you have to do everything by yourself. So just having someone to fall back on, and, you know, like Cara said, we are very similar, but we all also are different. So like, she is a very organized list type of person. She makes all of our PicMonkey images for the most part. She is the first person to be like, I'll make that cover photo. I'll jump on. I'm very particular about how I like our cover photos. And I'm like, great, you go make the cover photo. Sounds good to me. So she does a lot of that type of stuff. She, like, for example, she makes our cover photos every single time that we post for our event, for our team call every week. And that's just something that she doesn't even think about. She just does it. And I don't even have to ask her. She doesn't have to ask me, like, if she should do it. She just does it. So we have little things like that we each just kind of do, like our own little niches. And just like even when we were coming up with our team name, because you might think, oh, it's hard to come up with something when there's two people, there's two different opinions. You know, so we wanted, like, and not to say Cara doesn't like this, but like I like sparkle and like girly stuff, and so does she, but she's like, we want something strong too. Like we want like people to be like, this is like a kick-ass team and not this little like girly team, you know? So like we balance each other out that way. And so it's good to have someone do that too. And it's nice if you're afraid, like I said, afraid of a leadership, I can't talk tonight, position, or afraid of just moving your business forward, basically. When you're doing it with someone else, and it's the same thing when you're running a challenge group with someone else, it's a lot easier, and it makes it a lot easier. And it's the same exact thing with running your team page. And like I said in the beginning, still copy and paste what your upline's posting in their page. Still, you know, if there's an event happening, still put that in your page. A lot of it in the beginning is just that simple stuff. It doesn't need to be, now that you're a leader and you have a team page, it doesn't need to be all in, I'm doing all this extra stuff. And like she said, we do host our own team calls, but I'll be honest, it took us a while to be consistent with those team calls. And that first team call, I remember we were so freaked out. I think there were 2 people on it. But it got easier. But it wasn't something, sorry, no, Aiden's in here. It wasn't something that just happened. Just like when you start coaching and you start posting, it's uncomfortable. And so is this in the beginning, but it will get more comfortable. And when you have someone to lean back on, like Cara said, there's constant days where we have those conversations with each other. We're also success partners. That also was just a natural thing for us. You don't need to run your team with your success partner. You can have multiple success partners, but that just works for us and what we do. But so we just kind of, and if you guys have any questions, but we just wanted to kind of leave you with a challenge, I guess. If you are at that point in your business, or, you know, confident enough, I guess, with your business where you are thinking about creating your own team, or thinking about, you know, what your team will look like and all that, like, write that stuff down. Like, we challenge you to make a list of the things of what you would like your team to be. Maybe that's your the color scheme. Like, these are not important things, but like, these are things, it's kind of like when we create our avatar, like little details that are going to make you excited to want to do this. Think about what colors you want to use. Think about the name. Think about the team culture that you have. She had mentioned team culture, and we just started to feel like we really have this team culture. We really have each other's backs. Our girls answer each other's questions now. It's not just constantly me and Carly answering all the questions. So create that, and create a vision of it, kind of like when we create a vision board for our goals. Create a vision of your team and what you want it to be. And if you're ready, create it and launch it, and be excited when you post that you created your team name, and share that with your downline. And it doesn't need to be 16 coaches in your downline. You can have one coach in your downline. So don't be afraid of a time limit to create my God, my room is chaos. Like my dog's trying to eat his dessert. I don't know what he's saying, but don't be afraid of it. Just try it. Okay. Vision it. I'm going to mute myself now, but so that's our challenge to you guys. Does anyone have any questions?
I love that, you guys. I was trying to think back on when I created a team page. And I think I started one when I had like 4 coaches. I didn't even have that many. And I literally copied everything that Raina did and just pasted it in there. Because I didn't feel like at the time I had that much value to add. But I also love the tip you said about put yourself in a leadership position, treat yourself like a leader and be a leader, because that really is, it's all in the mindset. And it's so crazy that if you just think you're a leader, same thing with, I love your challenge of like creating your team in your head. What do you want it to look like? What colors do you use? What fonts do you use? What is your team name? How do people interact? When you have that level of like descriptions in your head, that happens in real life. It'll slowly start to play out as long as you take action. So I loved your tips. Team page with 2 people in it. There you go, Megan. Yeah, it's never too soon. I know of people that create a team page when they don't have anyone. They're just so excited to start to build a team. And then I also know of people who have a full downline of all discount coaches, and they create a team page even though they're not working the business. They just kind of give hints on like our sneak peek tonight and certain business things coming up, or a Super Saturday and things like that. By the way, you guys, Super Saturday, this it's in 2 weeks. It's at the last week of October, so write that down and find a location near you. They're all over the US and Canada. I keep forgetting about that.
Yes, our Albany Sagi, is that how you say his name? He's coming to ours. Albany.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know how you say his name, by the way.
I think it's Sagi.
Oh, I say Sagi like Sagi.
I say Sagi also.
Sagi, that sounds better.
But yeah, I think just the most important thing to take away from, regardless of finding somebody to do it with or not, it's just being able to take action and implement things. And like Ashley was saying, there's certain things that we're good at that the other one isn't, and I will come up with ideas for days. Like, I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? Or what do you think if we should start doing this? But like, I'm the worst at implementation, like the worst. And she is like, okay, so let's set a date for it. Do you want to make the cover photo? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? So it's just nice to have kind of, somebody who also counteracts with your strengths, I guess. So going along with her challenge and just looking at, what you want your team name to be and what you want it to, what your color scheme to be, like kind of brainstorm, who you think you would work well with. And if there's someone on this team, like I said, that you think you would work well with, ask them, or just say, hey, do you want to start running things together? And if you enjoy running challenge groups with them, maybe someone should say, why don't we run a team page together and things like that? Because I know it's kind of awkward and like, especially trying to ask somebody for a success partner, but running a team page with someone else, in a team in general with someone else, just makes such a big difference. And I know for me, I never took myself seriously and I never wanted to take action. And then when you have to put yourself in that position, you're like, okay, well, we actually should probably do team calls. And then it kind of puts you in a different light for yourself, and you're starting to take action and starting to implement more things. And I kind of lost my train of thought there, but I just saw that there was, are these on Super Saturday questions? Oh yeah, so for discount coaches, we add all of our discount coaches in there. I don't know if I make a coach announcement post for them. Do you, Ash? I don't know if, no.
No.
But I think because when Sam added me into her team page and I was just a discount coach, I think seeing the, everyone interacting and people talking about coaching and talking about the business, it kind of makes you question and want to be like, hey, I want to be a part of that. So I think that's a huge positive of joining the team page as a discount coach. Yeah.
Krista, find a Super Saturday close to you. There's always someone, they always ask, at least at ours, they always are like, who's traveled the furthest to come to these. And like, you'd be surprised, there's some people that travel like 5 hours to drive to Super Saturdays.
There's only like 3 in my state, and I'm going to a small town, and that's not one of them. Next time.
I have a question for you guys. Do you add your discount coaches to Team Supercharged as well, or just your team?
I just do our team personal page, just because I think it can be overwhelming and I don't want to like freak them out that they think that they all of a sudden have to do all of this stuff. So just our personal page.
Yeah, I was wondering, I feel the same way. I don't want to ever overwhelm them. Like, hey, you joined a challenge group and now here's 3 groups to join.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Does anyone have someone in mind that you're thinking of asking? Or starting to think of someone?
I think I like doing things by myself too much.
Do you like doing things by yourself?
Well, it's just like they've talked about, like they both like to do things. It would probably be good for me to have a partner. Oh, I just unmuted, or I don't know what I'm doing. I, especially like my schedule right now is so crazy. So it probably actually would be beneficial for me to have a partner. But I don't know if it'll, because like it's all in my own head. Like I already have my team planned out. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't really be a partnership. It'd be like, oh, hey, I have this team. Do you want to help?
Right.
And so, maybe for an up and coming coach, it might be nice to like support, but then eventually like move on to their own thing. But I feel like at this point in time, like even though I only have 2 coaches in it right now, in my head, it's already so far beyond where it is now that I feel like it wouldn't be fair to the person that I'm bringing in, because it wouldn't be like 50-50. It wouldn't be across the board. It wouldn't be a partnership. I would like be a boss to them, like helping me essentially, which would be helpful. It'd be beneficial, like for up and coming coaches that want to kind of get started. Like, you've had us in the Team Supercharged site, like go live and stuff like that. But as far as I think building it up, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I think that's okay though, to want to do it by yourself. I think if you're going to run a team with someone, it needs to be an authentic relationship and it needs to be natural, and you have to vibe together, because if you don't, the worst thing is you could just pick someone just to pick them, and then you get in a fight over the stupidest thing. And then what do? One person gets the team, and that, like, you know what I mean? So it needs, I think in your mind, like I'm going to do this by myself, and that's fine. And like you were saying, Megan, like for upcoming coaches, I think that's great. A lot of the times we'll ask our coaches on our team, like, hey, do you want to run this group with me? Hey, can you make this video for our challenge group explaining the portion containers? Because then it puts them in a leadership position too. And you don't need to run a team with them, but they're helping out and being recognized as a leader on your team, which I know, like when Sam started to ask, me and Carley to do stuff and run things with her, like we took that as a huge compliment. We're like, yeah, I'd love to. And I think a lot of us feel that same way. So
I think also part of it is I've also only been in the business for like 2.5, 3 months now. So like all the teams that I've seen, I've always noticed had like one person. So I didn't even know that people did dual groups. And so in my head, it wasn't like, oh yeah, I don't want to run it with anyone. I just assumed that when you got up to a certain point, you had your own team, you kind of went from there. Because I have I keep hitting things. I can't adult. two of my best friends are now coaches, and one of them, you know, we could potentially work off of each other, but I think that eventually she would break off and do her own thing. She's also very independent minded, and she has her own way of doing things. And so I think it'd be a good way to build them up. And then, yeah, the end, I have nothing else to say.
Yeah. And I feel like this stuff is something that when you start to build a bigger team, this is something that you can tell new coaches, or maybe a new emerald that wants to start to build a team, just to get them used to the idea and, you know, throw it out there for your newer coaches so they don't have to feel like they have to follow. You're like such a go-getter and like very independent. If you attract someone that's not like that, maybe this is what they would be more receptive to, rather than you saying, now build a team, create a team page.
It makes it less scary. Like with your best friend's boot camp, it's like find an accountability partner. Yeah. I mean, because everything that Ashleigh and Carley said, like that's amazing to have someone that you can work with. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm surprised that I guess I haven't seen more, because I think the dynamic is awesome.
I always get asked, by the way, where do I register my team page? Any coach that I have, and I think Megan asked me that recently, every coach that I have that creates their own team name, I get asked that question. So to put it out,
because you don't know if there's like copyright or anything. You don't have to.
Yeah. All I did and all I suggest is search Facebook and search Instagram for the team name. Like I'm thinking of rebranding our team, and I have a team name in mind, but I searched on Instagram and somebody already has it. So that's an easy way to find out if it's taken. All right, any other questions? Oh, Taylor, your bestie is in here. Are you guys going to run a group together? Or not a group, a team? Hold on, maybe I can unmute you. There you go.
We're actually, if you can see me looking awkward, we're like texting each other while we're watching this video. So we're actually on Carley and Ashleigh's team. Mm-hmm. So a lot of stuff that they do, we're like, oh, we need to do that. I right now I'm really busy with a new job, so I'm not like full force going at it, but it's definitely something that we're talking about doing slowly at some point. She just commented, so she's in there. So
good. That's awesome. And I do feel like when you guys both have full-time jobs, that's even better. You know, like there are so many, when I worked full-time, there were so many days where I was so stressed out because I forgot to log in, right? Or I forgot to do this, and I was the only one. So having that person, especially on those days when you work full-time and you have hobbies and stuff, that's one of the biggest benefits I see.
Yeah, and it definitely helps. Like we run groups together. Right now we're going to do our second group together. Yeah. And we're doing like a best friend inspired group. So it's interesting to see who you can grab doing that too. It makes people who wouldn't normally do it, I think, come out and try it because somebody else is trying it too.
Yeah, definitely. And I think
your guys' post about it, you both posted like a very similar thing of the two of you together, and it was like, join us. And I think, at least for me, I know that whenever I see other coaches hanging out, I'm like, that's kind of what made me want to actually do this business and go meet people and make best friends through this business. So the fact that you did that and you both posted a picture of you two and you're like, hey, we're running this group together, I think creates that camaraderie that everyone wants to be a part of. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely keep doing that because I loved it.
Are you talking about my post, or did Taylor do one like that?
Well, you and Gretchen did, but Taylor did one with Lauren. I'm pretty sure Lauren posted one also, and you guys both did it. And they were just like cute pictures of the two of you hanging out. And it's like, hey, we're best friends, but we're also like co-workers / co-coaches.
Yeah.
So I think that makes people really envious also, because a lot of people hate who they work with.
Yeah. And then you can kind of play it off the way that I'm doing it this month is you get two coaches, join one group, and you can text both of us if you want, but nobody will. They're just going to text whoever they signed up with. But we're saying text us, ask us questions. Like when you're struggling, you're about to eat a cookie, text us both. We're going to be there for you. So having that two people, even in a group, not even a team, that also is really helpful, I think, especially for new coaches. So keep that in mind. All right, you guys. So we have 13 minutes before the sneak peek into the coach life starts. So hop into there if you have anyone, just so that if they do ask questions, it's best if the person who invited them responds, just so that you are, they know that you're in there too, that you didn't just like dump them in there and then you ran away. So try and participate, or at least watch the videos and be wary of comments and stuff if you added other people. If not, invite people tonight, tomorrow, all through next week. And it's an event which always stays up. So it's pre-recorded videos. Everything will remain live in there. So you just have to invite them to it or send them the direct link and they can access everything. So thanks, guys, for hopping on tonight. And thank you, Carley and Ashleigh, for presenting and sharing with us your tips. They were awesome.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.